Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMEB Reviews, and it's time to take a look at the newest studio album from Roger Waters. Is this the life we really want? Let's get to it. Alright, yes, I'm a little late on this review. Honestly, I believe I was sick whenever this was coming out, and I just ended up not ever getting to it because there was just so many albums that kept coming out, and I was busy. But hey, I had a down week. I only had to review one album, so here it is. I got a chance to finally take a look at this album, and man, what I was missing, a great album. This album is just great. It really is. It's what you expect from Roger Waters. I mean, it has that sound that he crafts in Pink Floyd, all those kind of eerie, spooky sounds that he had, but also it's very political. It's political, and it doesn't necessarily just attack politics. It's attacking modern culture and just the fact that a lot of people will tend to turn a blind eye towards some of the travesties that are going on. And honestly, it's a very, very refreshing album because a lot of times with the current divisive administration of the Trump administration, there's a lot of songs coming out about that are anti towards that. Either his administration or some of the actions that he's done, but all of them have usually come across as kind of unintelligent. And this album is one that actually intelligently brings forth an idea and actually wants us to take a look within ourselves and challenge ourselves and try to improve ourselves. And that is something that this album gets so right. It's something that so many songs have done wrong, is that they try to be political, but it just does not hammer home because it's just mainly saying that I'm unhappy with it, and it's not intelligent about it. But this is intelligent songwriting about topics that are very important to him and really brings forth a lot of questions within the listener's mind. Now, I do come into this review mainly unbiased. Obviously, everyone has a small bias, and so sometimes I obviously my views do kind of come through, but I am actually coming through looking at this without a bias. It wouldn't matter whether this was praising the administration or bashing it. It's intelligent songwriting nonetheless. And some of these things that he touches on are honestly things that about everyone can agree on. I mean, he talks about The Last Refugee, and honestly, it's talking about that picture that surfaced a few months ago of just a child dead on a beach, and that's heartbreaking. And honestly, no matter what you think about the refugee situation, it's a very intelligent look at it and criticism of how many people have just turned a blind eye and kind of said, it doesn't affect me, I don't care. And that is something that he's trying to talk to, not the people that are for or against the people or the refugees coming in to America. He's mainly talking to the people that are not standing up for what they believe in and are not noticing these awful things. Now, obviously, he is focused more on the Democratic view on most of these things, and he does have a lot of the thoughts of that party, but that does not mean that he's really it's much less him trying to bring in his political thoughts and more a call to arms, because a lot of the topics he's touching on are things that are universally agreed upon. I mean, as I said, that image was very, very touchy for many people and was very hard for many to see. And no matter where you stood with the refugees coming into America, that was something that was very hard for a lot of people to see. And that's what he's trying to touch on. He obviously has a bias. He is very clearly against the Trump administration and makes all those things clear. He makes all of those thoughts clear. But he is still just wanting people to wake up. I mean, he sings in Smell the Roses. He sings Wake Up and Smell the Roses. Just wake up and see what's happening around you. So many people have turned a blind eye, and that's what he's trying to touch on. And it's a very intelligent songwriting, very, very smart thought process, and it really comes across well. Honestly, Waters has an amazing voice still. It's that voice that works. He does not have the most crystal clean voice. He does not have the most beautiful voice in the world, but honestly, he knows how to make make it work with his songs. All of his songs he knows how to integrate his voice, because no, it is not a beautiful voice. It's rough and jagged and very, he can hit pitches, but even then some of those pitches are just a little off. But he realizes that, and he uses that, and he uses that disgruntled sound in his voice to just show his discontent with the administration and the current situation. And it really works. And honestly, with age, this is something this is a voice that I feel has got better with age, because when he was young, he was a little more capable of some cleaner vocals. But now that he's aging, it's harder for him to maintain some of those either higher notes, longer notes, etc. And he really knows how to use that voice. As he's aged, he's been able to use his matured voice that's a little more off, and really create a great album. You know, many of the songs bleed into each other. They take either melodies or just radio static that's in some of the songs and make them bleed into each other, and that's something I really appreciate. It's something that he did in Pink Floyd, and it's something that I really enjoy, because it really creates a cohesive track and really gives a one thought, and it's really good. Honestly, I really do enjoy when artists are able to blend tracks together. I do not like a bunch of filler tracks that are just instrumental. Sometimes that comes across really disjointed, but this time, in this circumstance, it does, because half the time there's not a ton of instrumental in between tracks, and there's never a cut. It's purely, it just flows straight into it, and honestly, that's something I really enjoy. I really enjoy that sound. Furthermore, there's even reoccurring melodies. I mean, we have The Last Refugee with and Oceans Apart. You hear Oceans Apart kind of bring back this sound that was in The Last Refugee. And honestly, it's really interesting, and it's fun, because you just get to hear a very cohesive album. The whole album, start to finish, has a purpose. Each song is there for a reason. And that's why they're there, and that's why he chose them, and that shows the artistry in this album. It's not just a collection of tracks. It is a thought. It's the whole album is saying, is this the life we really want? And that's what he's talking about. Now, for some people, I do see how this album could kind of come across as a little pretentious. I mean, he definitely, while a lot of this is a call to arms, there is a lot of looking down on people in this album. Now, he does relate at some points and admit that he also was a victim of this. In the very last song, he does say, yeah, I did I was doing these things, and then I woke up. And that is kind of where, for me, it keeps it from being pretentious. I could see how some people could feel that way, because a lot of it is saying, come on, wake up, guys. I'm up here and I know what I'm doing, but you guys have got to wake up. And I see where a lot of people could hear that, but his vocals are so genuine, the songwriting is so genuine. You can tell this is actually something he cares about. He's caring about this, and he's not sitting looking at it from a pedestal and barking orders. It's more, he wants better for a lot of people, and he's trying to help people, and I think that is where it avoids coming across as pretentious. Now, you know, some of the songs do come across a little long. I mean, they are not really long, and honestly, the instrumentals are diverse enough. Every song, I mean, it can range from a little acoustic song to him screaming vocals, and that, it's really good. But some of the songs do kind of get a little drawn out, definitely. Wait for Her is definitely a little longer than it should be, but it's a good album, honestly. There's very, very minimal complaints. A little more could always be done, but I think that this is a definitely solid album. But honestly, this is a contender for being one of my favorite albums of the year. I don't know if I'll be doing a list or anything, but definitely there have been 3 albums this year that have just really stood out to me and are really are way above the others, and this is one of them. The other 2 I've given 9.5s. Kind of looking back, sometimes I wish I kind of bumped them up, because honestly, both of those are probably 10s. But this one I am going to give a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do you have any suggestions, any thoughts? What can I do better? What did you think of this album? Sorry I was a little late on it. a lot late. But thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot, and I'll see you guys later.